Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Brain Freeze. I'm Mrs. Freeze and I will be posting math lessons every week to help you along your math journey at school. This first video is all about the Pythagorean Theorem. Pythagoras helps us find the missing lengths or angles within a right angle triangle. It is specific to right angle triangles only. For today's video, I will just be showing you how to find one unknown side of a right angle triangle. The first thing you need to know within a right angle triangle is where the hypotenuse is. So the hypotenuse is always the side that is opposite the right angle of the triangle. It's also known as the longest side of a right angle triangle. Only right angle triangles have hypotenuse. For the sake of the Pythagorean theorem, we are going to name the sides A, B, and C. The hypotenuse will be named C, and the other two sides will be named A and B. The sides labeled A and B don't need to be specific sides, they just need to be one of the two shorter sides. So our Pythagorean theorem states that C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. This A, B, and C refers to the sides of the triangle that we have labeled. So basically C we said was the hypotenuse, so it will be a hypotenuse squared. A is one of the shorter sides, so we're going to call it side 1 squared, and B is the other shorter side, so we call it side 2 squared. Okay, these two are basically the same thing, they're just written in different notation. Alright, let's go to a question. So the question states, what is the value of x? In this right angle triangle, please remember to always check that it is a right angle triangle before you apply Pythagoras. You will see you have one side length as 3, one side length as 4, and one unknown, that is x. If you have a look, the x side is the side that's opposite the right angle. So, what did we say in the previous slide? That would mean that x is the hypotenuse. I abbreviate it with hype, as hypotenuse is a very long word. So, remember we said we must label the hypotenuse C. So we will label x C. The other two sides need to be labeled A and B. So I decided to label A as 3 and B as 4. If you decided to label 4 as A and 3 as B, the same would work. Alright, let's start with the theorem. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Alright, so what do we know? C in our case is x, so we replace the C with the x, so we have x squared. A in our case is 3, so we replace the A with a 3, so we have A squared. And B in our case is 4, so we replace the B with a 4, which is 4 squared. Now we work out and solve for x. First thing is we can do the right hand side, we have only numbers. So we know that 3 squared is 9 and 4 squared is 16. We can now add those two numbers together. We still can't do anything with x squared, but we know that 9 plus 16 is 25. Right, we still don't have x on its own, so we need to figure out a way how to get x on its own. The problem is x still has the square. So what we do is we do the operation that is opposite to squaring something, and that operation is square root, and it's denoted by that yellow symbol. Right, so when you square and square root, they cancel each other out, so you're just left with x. But now if you square root the x, you have to square root the 25 as well. And if you square root 25, you get 5. So our answer is that our x value is 5 units. We're now going to start with a slightly different question. However, it's the same concept. We still start with a right angled triangle and we have one unknown side. However, the unknown side is not the hypotenuse. It's one of the other shorter sides. So we use the same concept. We still find what the hypotenuse is. So if you remember, the hypotenuse is the side opposite the right angle in the triangle. So in our case, the hypotenuse is 13. Okay, then you have a look to label for A, B, and C. We will label the hypotenuse, which is 13, C, X will be A, and 5 will be B. We then go back to the theorem, which states that C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Our C in this case is 13, so we write 13 squared. Our A is our X, so we write X squared. And our B is our 5, so we write 5 squared. Because the X is on the side with the 5, we do not want this situation. So what we got to do is we got to get rid of the 5 squared. So we take it to the other side of the equal sign. When we take it to the other side of the equal sign, the positive in front of the 5 becomes a negative 5 squared. The X squared stays on the right-hand side of the equation. 13 squared is 169 and 5 squared is 25. We can now minus those two numbers from each other to get 144, and we still have the X squared on the one side. Remember, we do not have X on its own yet. So, X is squared. The opposite of squaring something is square rooting it. If we square root X squared, we get X. And what we do to the one side, we do to the other side. So we square root 144, and our answer is 12 units. Comment down below for what other topics you would like me to cover in maths, and let's make our math journey a wonderful one.